sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan, but there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
Everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be, I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be, I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be, I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. That exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Hello, 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 people. Let me stop sharing the sound. There we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome on this beautiful Wednesday, wherever you are in the world, in the morning, in the afternoon. I would love to see you all. Okay, I'm looking at blank screens, which is perfect if you're otherwise not able to join and then yet you decided that you are joining. But if you can, it would make this lesson way more fun and interactive. So that's absolutely beautiful. And what you know is that every single Wednesday training, we start in the same way, which is, you can shout it out or put it in the chat. Come on, what do we start with? I know that Jamie's like, I started with practicing the start of my keynote because I'm doing it on Friday. But what do we start every single training with wins? So who would love to share first? Jamie! Big round of applause of Jamie! Keynote speaker of the week. Jamie, what's a win you can share? You have it on mute.
There we go. Sorry. Yesterday, I moved from feeling really nervous about it to actually being excited.
Wow.
But
Yeah, so
I'm
for the
back to
people
being
who
nervous
don't
this
know,
morning. So,
Nils, are you also here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jamie is doing a keynote, an in-person keynote on Friday, so that's absolutely freaking amazing. And what for you, Jamie, made that shift?
probably after we talked and I worked more on my intro, and then I was taking your suggestions in the slides and fixing those. So
That's amazing. Yeah, so with clarity, with a plan, when you know like how to implement all these things, right? Because we didn't talk about new stuff. We just added, like we just iterate upon what we already talked about, right? Like what's the aim? Where do you want to go? What is going to be the hook? What are going to be the stories? How are you going to tie that into teaching moments? What are going to be the transitions? What's the call to action, right? All the things we already talked about, and just the clarity for you made it happen to feel excited. Well, that's amazing. It's going to happen in 2 days. You have 2 whole more days to prepare, which is incredible. Incredible. Yes. Welcome, Richie, as well. Beautiful. So, who would love to share next a win on this Wednesday? Wednesday winning. Nilsa, go for it. And then
yes,
Richie.
hello everyone. Monday, I joined another course that Lori offers. And I just realized when we hanged up, we were doing improv. Jessica, Jamie and me were doing improv. And I just remember when I was in Toastmasters, I would hide. I would turn the camera off so they would not call me to do improv. And we did improv with Lori. Natural. We were laughing. We enjoyed it. unbelievable, Laura. You're providing stages for us, even on the Zoom. And that was my win.
Wow, that's
I
so
didn't,
beautiful.
I mean, this is why it's important to, that I want to repeat this course a couple more times, because every time I'm here, something shifts, something opens. I just realized out of the blue, oh my God, she's providing a stage for me to do
Yeah.
improv, which I would be hiding behind the camera.
Yeah,
And that was
so
the win.
beautiful. Yeah, and you did phenomenal. And by the way, it's like Monday is accessible for everybody here while the Public Speaking Academy goes, right? So Richie, you're also more than invited. It's already in your calendar. On Mondays, we have the community. So that's with a bigger group with more people, and it's not like a step-by-step cohort like you're doing, but it's just like feeling the momentum and just sharing wins and shares. So you're all more than invited. And I love that, Nilsa. And what for you made that difference? Like, what for you made the difference between I'm hiding and now I'm actually stepping up because Lori calls on me? What made you excited?
I think it's the space that you provide, and we start building confidence, and we start listening to everybody else, and we notice that it's a common feeling or emotion to have some kind of fear, but there's no reason to have fear, because there's people out there that want to hear our version of impact.
Yes.
They're all different versions. We could all have the same topic, and we could all deliver it totally different and connect with different people in the audience.
That's it. That's the end game. That's so well said, Nilsa. And I love your energy. I really see the shift over the time that we've worked together. You're showing up more brighter on camera just by the visual. Like who here remembers like Sue in our group? Like she started around a year ago or something, and the transformation that you just see on the screen, that's already amazing. And I see the same with you. So that's beautiful, beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
We're not half from getting finished, so that's beautiful. Richie!
What's up? What's up? Hi, how is everybody doing? I'm excited to share a win. So my win is that before I jumped into the Speaking Academy, I had already started, I want to say since like May of this year, I started making some videos, some courses, right? I did like an 8-week personal development course and a 4-week sales course, and I've been adding to that. And then I started, doing the editing phase and whatnot. And as I started the Speaking Academy and I started the editing phase on both of my courses, I'm like, hold on. My storytelling, it's like why I lost myself. If I'm the student, I'm lost. Well, I'm not focusing on like, okay, the here, the now, like what are the teaching moments, especially like on the sales ones. Yes, it's very informative. There's a lot of teaching moments. The personal development one more, there was more like personal stories in my life and how I've implemented and what I've used to get out of certain type of mindsets and frameworks and whatnot. I was like, hold on, I didn't really go in depth into this. I did it like I wasn't saying it from the perspective of the student who's going to be consuming this. So I want to say like 2 weeks ago, I decided to be like, or maybe 3, right around the time we started this, I decided to be like, okay, hey, my editor, pause. I need to review all the videos. I'm going to see which ones work, which ones don't, and the ones that don't, we're going to have to redo it all over again. And I'm going to have to start filming. So I'm excited because this past week, I've been able to redo 2 of my 8 weeks program. So I've already completed 2. I probably have like 2 more to go. I'm going to use 4 and redo 4. But I was able to take exactly what I've learned here to be like, oh, hold on, this was just a whole rift, and like, what's the point here? Yes, cool. I said my story, but like, what did I learn? Because if I'm the student, I didn't learn something. Okay, I learned that you've been through some shit. Cool. So that's my win for this week.
Wow, that is so good, so good, Richie. And I want to give you another like ball of compliments because I looked at the drive and all the people adding their full talk, and I saw your full talk. I just watched the complete thing, and because you went so full out, tomorrow we're going to analyze it all together. Okay, so we're going
cool. I just to give a little quick thing on my full talk. I thought, whatever, I was doing it in my buddy's studio, and then I got interrupted. That's why I put 2 videos. And when I saw how much time I had used on the first one, I was like, oh my God, I fucking talked way too much. This shit was supposed to be half the time. I'm like, oh, I gotta wrap it up. So
and you did. And we're going to look, because I think it's like 31 minutes in total. How are you going to tell this story in like 18 minutes? while sharing 3 teaching points.
Right.
So we're going to go through this all together. And what I want to do today is not only like future pace a little bit again about what's going to happen the next 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks you will all go live in our group, right? So you will perform for the people in our group to do your live keynote in full streaming. So you have the recording of your full thing, you like get the kick under the butt to record it, like the full thing, and you have the limit of using max 15 minutes. So there's going to be a really nice exercise to train that muscle, and whatever comes out, you will have it in recording. Like Nils said, this is the second time that she's going to the Speaking Academy. So you will also start to see, you know, your improvement over time. And that's why we fully record it and not at the end think, okay, I did learn a lot and I will implement it. No, you did. You created it. You can always watch it back. You can be so proud of yourself. And some people use it as a trailer on a website. Some people use it to create snippets from for social media. And some people just put it on their YouTube unlisted page and watch it every night and remember how proud they are of themselves. And whatever that is for you, they're all cool, okay? So that happens in 2 weeks. So on Wednesday, half of the group will go, and on Thursday, half of the group will go, okay? So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to do rehearsals. We're going to do it exactly the way we're going to do it, and you're just going to practice it. And you will feel that you're going to feel it. You will see that there's stuff like, okay, I did great in these areas, and there's some stuff that I really would love to work on in that week in between. So that way you already had it out. You already had to push it out in a way that other people can listen to it. And then you have a whole week to look at the stuff that you would love to improve, and you actually have the time to do so. Which means that today and tomorrow are quote unquote the last training days. Doesn't mean that you cannot ask any questions, okay? So in week 7, we will have extra time because we won't use the whole hour to do the full talks. So we can do some Q&As like, okay, I did this now, but now I completely don't know how to do this or that. We will have time for all of that. Does it sound cool? All right, so today what I would love to do is I would love to do a live. So Richie, you recorded it. We're going to do that tomorrow. Today, Jamie, you can do your intros like live. So we're all going to see, okay, how are you going to open in a way that's memorable? Like we talked about the hook, we talked about the close, we talked about the transitions, but how does it work in real life? And before we're going to do that, I want to open the space for some random Q&A. Like, is there anything that feels need clarification either on week 7 and week 8 or on the content itself? Right? Because we talked about the now and the new, we talked about the aim, we talked about the different stories, about the transition moments, all those different things. And I can imagine that when you put it into practice, right, you start to think, okay, how does this work exactly for me now? Like how does this now work? Because theoretically I understand it. Now I'm putting it in and I'm like, I don't know how to do all of that. So are there any specific questions based on the practice that you all done? Better said, what are the questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, for storytelling, when we talk about the presentation in itself, do we only need one story? Like, how do I put, what is the bare minimum stories I can use in my talk?
Yeah.
Can it be?
This is a really good question. Very good question. And I saw this in Richie's video as well. And I remember Niels said that when you did your talk, I think you had 2. So now the question is, like, first of all, how many stories? And then which one am I going to pick, right? Like, like Richie, in your case, and we're going to watch it together tomorrow, like, the story about your parents, is that going to be the through line? Jamie, is like, what story are you going to use to share about the health? And what I would say is the bare minimum is 1. We don't want to just be educational. So the bare minimum is 1. What could happen, okay, is that you share one scene of your life, one moment where you experienced the transition from where you were to where you're going. So for example, and I use Richie now as an example because I saw his full video, and we're gonna watch it all tomorrow, which now I said for the 5th time. But basically, if I would summarize it in 1 or 2 sentences, Richie, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were a 19-year-old boy, and then you found out that both your parents got kidnapped. And you bring us through the through a little bit through the timeline of what happened before, what happened during, and then what happened afterwards. So the whole through line of Richie's story is parents got kidnapped. That's the one, let's say, story block that he chose. Now, if we zoom in to that through line, you will see that there's different scenes, right? So there's a scene where he's in school. There's a scene afterwards. There's a scene when he goes, and if I would zoom in on Richie's story, I think there is around 15 scenes there. So there's one through line, there's one topic, there's 15 different scenes. So what I would say, Jamie, is there's different ways to work with this. What I've found very useful, especially in the beginning, is when you have a now and you have a new, that you pick one story, one scene that covers the now, then you transition, and then there's a new. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, I shared the video of Duncan. Has everybody watched that video? Yeah, that would be really helpful as well. Because that's like 18 minutes, and you will see how he exactly created a whole talk based on, I think he used like 7 different stories, and how he then infiltrate into each other. So the minimum amount of story, I would say, is 1. You just want to make sure that the now and the new are clear. And sometimes in order to do that, it's nice to have 1 story for the now and 1 story for the new. Just to make it a little more clear, because what I said with Richie is the through line, is something I did not completely introduce yet. So what that means is he's using 1 topic. And from that 1 topic, he picks different stories, which will help the people in their audience to go through this one epic life event of his. Does that answer your question, Jamie, or do you have a follow-up question?
No, it answers my question. I'm still so stuck with my story for my talk on Friday.
Yeah? So what makes you feel stuck?
I don't have a story that is coming to mind. I'm not going to say that I don't have one that is like that I've lived, but I don't have anything that like my brain is like blank.
All right. So then what we are going to do, because this is not just a public speaking course where you're having a story at the end, you actually start to develop the practice of creating it. So what we are now going to do, Jamie, is you're going to start, you're going to do your full introduction, and you're going to go until you introduce the 3 teaching moments, and you're going to share which ones they are. Okay?
Okay.
Now, Richie and Nilsa, you are basically like Nilsa, can you take Jamie's left shoulder? And then Richie, can you take Jamie's right shoulder to kind of like stand on as like minions? And then you're gonna be helpers, okay? You're gonna be suggestion givers. So without knowing Jamie's full story, you're just gonna talk to her like you know her, you've been living with her forever, and you're gonna think like, okay, use these kind of stories, you know? And you're gonna look through the lens of, okay, how do we pick stories again? We want to get to the aim, we want to get the aim across, and we want to make sure that the 3 C's are covered. Now, what are those 3 C's again? You can unmute and shout.
Jeez, I can't get a
You're not
mute.
unmute.
Community,
Coolness, What was it? Coolness, credibility,
And
Community. Very good. So coolness, credibility, and community. So we want to make sure that at the end, when people are going to re-invite the people to join something, either buy her book, either book a call, or whatever call to action she decides to pick, they already feel, okay, I love her. I think she's incredible. I think I relate with her, and I want to work with her. That's the goal. And the good thing is, Jamie, that now you have another extra minion who's going to help you with that. Jessica, you have no idea. You start incredibly in the perfect timing, because we are now listening to Jamie. Jamie is going to do her introduction of the keynote that she's actually going to do on Friday. And you, Richie, and Nilsa are part of her advisory committee. Okay? Do you want the left or the right shoulder to stand on? You can pick. Jessica, you can pick the left or the right.
Left.
Okay. Who was left? Nilsa or Richie? Okay, you're in team left shoulder with Nilsa. So Jamie, just know that maybe you need to, bend a little bit backwards, because you have 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Richie, you got it? All the way alone on the right? Okay, great. So you will be standing there next to Jamie. You're gonna listen, and we're just gonna make up stories that she can tell. Because Jessica, just for your understanding, Jamie said, I've practiced a lot with the introduction. I feel stuck on the stories. So you are going to be the advisory committee that pretends that you know Jamie for your entire life, and you're just gonna burp out ideas that come to mind, knowing that we want to cover the 3 C's: credibility, community, and coolness. Everybody clear on their task? Don't forget which shoulder. It's like one of the most important things. It's a joke. Okay, so, well, I am so honored, you all. I'm so honored to introduce the next speaker of today. I'm so happy you got here all on Friday. I would love to have a big round of applause for Jamie Duggan. Jamie, I'll bring you on the stage. There you are.
thank you. Thank you, Candace. Thank you, Lori. It is such an honor to be here with you all today, to spend time with you. And I want to thank you for taking your time. And I want to honor you for being here, for being in the room, for doing the work. So just to see who's in the room, can I see by a raise of hands who here finds joy in making a difference in other people's lives? Okay, leave your hand up. And who here feels a sense of purpose in supporting others? You can raise your other hand if you've already got one up. And who loves making a positive impact in other people's lives? Leave your hands up. Now look around. This is so awesome. We have so much in common. Everyone here has a genuine desire to serve and help others and support other people in their life. And that is so needed now more than ever. You are the one who shows up for those in need, and you do it with so much heart and love, with so much love in your heart. And that is what makes you an incredible mom, wife, friend, caregiver. And that's actually why I'm here. Sometimes our greatest strength becomes our biggest weakness. Can we be honest with each other? Sometimes we focus so much on others, putting others' needs in front of our own, whether it is taking kids to soccer practice and skipping the gym, working late, taking work home regularly, being on call outside of your regular hours, working through lunch and breaks to care for others, that you forget to take care of yourself. You all give so much to everybody else, which is amazing, but you can only do that for so long before you feel drained, depleted, and ultimately not giving the best, the best of who you are to anyone, especially your clients, especially your family, and especially you. My name is Jamie Duggan, and I am an author and a coach. I am a mom and a wife, and I am so excited to be here with you today to talk about something that we all need more of. That's something that is so important to everybody, and that is self-care. Could we all agree that we could prioritize ourselves a little bit more? Today, I want to unpack not only why it's important to prioritize your self-care, but how to do so effectively and consistently. Who is excited about that? So I have a question for you. Who here would love to create a strong foundation of self-care so that you can build better, show up fully for others with greater balance and resilience? Who here would love that? Awesome. There's a framework that I would love to share with you today to help you create that foundation of self-care. Is that okay if I share it with you? And what do I have to do now?
Woohoo! Like, embrace the amount of love and applause that you're getting from all the
Oh,
people in this group too. Increíble, increíble. All right, I'm gonna unspotlight you for 1 second, Jamie, so everybody is in the same place. Because I just want to make sure that on the left shoulder and on the right shoulder, everybody is okay. I know that Jamie was walking a little bit, but are you still stable and present? Okay, perfect. Because what we're going to do now, you listen to, okay, what are stories that she can potentially share to explain the 3 teaching moments. Not knowing, I know, but you know, because you were with Jamie for your entire life, and you're just gonna blast inspiration and ideas based on what you already know. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna watch another time. And now you're going to watch through a different lens. Before sharing your ideas, we're going to watch through a different lens about the introduction. So what do you see? That is absolutely freaking incredible what Jamie is doing. And I want at least 5 things. And then on the other side is, what would be the one needle mover that if you think that Jamie should focus on that the introduction will be even better. Okay, so just now you watched through lens, what are ideas? That is still in your mind, you're still having those ideas, you might want to draw them down. Now we're going to listen to Jamie one more time. Jamie, you're going to do it all the way from the beginning, just like we do it all like we didn't do it. And now you're going to look at what are the 5 things Jamie did incredibly well, and what is the one needle mover that when she would focus on that, it would make the biggest difference. Completely clear with a thumbs up? Perfect. And you're doing this now for Jamie. You're practicing the skill. And if I would say, now with what you shared to Jamie, if you would plot it in your own talk, what would you learn from that? I'm sure there will be answers. So let's give it a big round of applause for the speaker of today, Jamie. Woo-hoo-hoo.
thank you. Thank you, Candace. Thank you, Lori, for having me. It is such an honor to be here today, and I want to take a moment and honor you for showing up today. I want to honor you for being in the room. So just so we can know who's in the room, can I see by a raise of hand who here finds joy in making a difference in other people's lives? And leave your hand up. And who here in the room feels a sense of purpose in supporting others? You can raise your other hand. And who here loves to make a positive impact on other people's? Raise your hands. Now look around the room. How awesome is this? We all have so much in common. Everyone here, we all have a genuine desire to help and support others. And that is needed now more than ever. You are the one who shows up for those in need. And you do it with so much love in your heart. And that is what makes you an incredible friend, wife, mom, and support system for those that you work with. Sometimes, and that's actually why I'm here, sometimes our greatest gift is our biggest weakness. Can we be honest with each other for a moment? Sometimes we focus so much on others. We give so much of ourselves to others. We stay late with work. We are on call after hours. We work through lunches, through breaks to support those in need. We do everything for our family, driving kids to sports practices, making dinner. And we can focus so much on giving to others because we love it that we forget to take care of ourselves. You all give so much to everyone else, which is amazing, but you can only do that for so long before you are left feeling depleted, drained, and ultimately not giving your best, the best of who you are, to those who need you the most, especially your clients, your family, and your friends. My name is Jamie Duggan, and I am an author, a coach, and I am so excited to be here with you today to talk about something that that is so important to all of us, and that is self-care. Could we agree that we could all prioritize ourselves a little bit more? Anybody? Just me? Today, I want to unpack not only why it is so important to prioritize ourselves, but how to do so effectively and consistently. Who's excited about that? So I have a question for you. Who here would love to create a strong foundation of self-care so that you can show up fully for others with greater balance and resilience? Awesome. I have a formula that I am so excited, a framework that I am so excited to share with you today to help you create that strong foundation of self-care. Is that okay if I do it? Is that okay if I share it with you?
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. How did it feel for you, Jamie, to do all of this?
So second time was better. Still makes me think I'm gonna shit my pants.
Who can understand that, by the way? All the
And
hands are
I'm
going up.
gonna forget everything.
Oh, we're gonna.
Lori's like, that might happen.
No. Today is going to help you bust that belief. And the beauty is you're going to hear 3 compliments. I know you wrote down 5, but I want to hear 3 that you experienced while listening to Jamie. Because I saw Jessica nodding her head like, yeah, the second one was like so freaking epic. So Jessica, maybe you want to start with sharing your 3 things that you thought Jamie was doing really, really, really well. And then at the end, or maybe in the middle, let's do it in the middle, you can share your 1 needle mover.
Yeah. So I could tell Jamie that you're starting to feel a lot better about it. Your energy shifted from that very first video to now, where you feel your energy and your excitement. So it starts to feel exciting. I feel that, yeah, like I kind of threw in my 3 and combined it into 1. But I feel that even the story, the way you're starting it off, can really relate with so many people that it's almost going to be a challenge for anybody to not raise their hand, because it's like at some point in our lives we can all relate with that. Maybe we may not be there now, or we are there now. So it brings a lot of engagement. I think the other thing too that was really great is that it's bringing up that excitement of like, okay, what's the formula? Like, I'm curious to see what you're gonna say, because even just for somebody who maybe is doing the work and being consistent, is there something new? Is there something that I'm not aware of? So I think it's just a really great starting point that builds that curiosity and can keep people engaged in the story. So those were the 3 things I have.
That's beautiful.
you.
And what do you think could be the needle mover, Jessica? If there would be one thing, little change, what would you think that would be?
Trust yourself. Let go of
Thank
that
you.
script that you're reading. You don't need it. It's in you. It's in your heart. You just got to trust yourself and just start rehearsing without the script. Let go of that story that you're holding on to that you're going to forget. You're not. If you just take a deep breath and really just step in your heart, you know this. It's in
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. So good. How does that feel to hear, Jamie?
It feels good. I really appreciate the encouragement a lot. So thank you.
You totally got it. Just I mean, I'm impressed at how well you're writing this all out. I'm like, damn, you're good.
Oh,
I might want you to help me write mine. Oh, trust me, you got this, girl.
thank you.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you go. There you go. Who's next? Nilsa.
Jamie, congratulations. The second time
Thank
was
you.
awesome. You can feel that you feel comfortable, and that's how you should feel the day of your speech, because the people that are there want to hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me. I love the way you hook the audience in. I mean, you're standing there, we don't know who you are, but you bring us in, raise your hand if you're this, raise another hand. And so you got us engaged in that way. You're smiling. So like Jessica said, the energy and the smiling is important to keep people focused on you. But then during the introduction, you continue to talk to the audience, but I also feel you're talking to me. So people continue to connect with you. That's good. But then I want to know, when you're speaking, where is your interest for prioritizing yourself come from? Is it from your mother? Is it from you? Is it from a neighbor? Why is this interest? And my analytical mind wants to know, okay, this is awesome. This woman has a lot of energy. Where is this coming from? I grew up with my mother, my aunt, my sister, my neighbor, the moms in the school. Because I have a story when I took my kids to school for the first time, we were all, in our 20s, and we were all fit. And when we graduated, then 12 years later, the picture was a different picture of all of us, of the overwhelm of us giving more than we can even handle. And then I also want to know what kind of coach you are. I'm an author. I'm a coach. I need to know that. And then I would love to also know what percentage of people, my numbers, what percentage of people who give self-care are get overwhelmed or get sick or whatever it is that happens. Like 50% of the people who are taking care of other people, 3 months later, 4 months later, their cortisol goes up or whatever that happens.
Yeah. I don't have those stats, but it's interesting that you said that, because in my slides, I have statistics on the positive impact of
Okay.
taking
Well,
care
that's
of
good.
yourself.
That works.
You got
So-
your numbers, Nilsa. You have to wait a little longer. You get your numbers.
I have the stats on the positives, but then I also point out there's also the statistic that 40% of Americans don't take care of themselves on a consistent basis.
And the outcome is high blood pressure, depression, and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
is it okay for you to mention in the introduction, I'm an author of this book?
So they
They don't want you
actually
to-
have, oh no, they all have my book. That's why I'm
okay.
there.
Okay, perfect. Oh,
They
so they know who you are as a coach, and they know who you are as an author. Okay.
My book is going to be on their chair. They already have my audiobook. That's why I'm there. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Super. So
Super.
a lot of relatabilities, right, Nilsa? And the fun thing, and this is like the beautiful thing of being in such a group like this, everybody looks through their own perspectives, right? So Jamie, if you would do this talk like every single week for the whole year, and then we would test it another time in another group, there will always be things, right?
Mhm.
So know that it's always perfect and it's always improving.
Yes.
Beautiful. Richie, what are 3 amazing things did you hear from Jamie? And what would be your one needle mover?
Yeah, so for me, ditto to Nilsa and Jessica, like everything they said, I think is on point. I think the way you started is awesome. The questions, it creates engagement right away, it gets the people, I think that's yeah, that to me was really good. I think the energy you're bringing second time around 100 times better than the first time. You just felt more comfortable, right? Like to what Jessica was saying, like just let go and trust. Like you got this,
Yeah.
you know this. Like when you speak from your heart and you stop trying to read whatever's on the screen in front of you, that's when you really touch people's hearts, right?
Mhm.
I think that the part where you introduce yourself and you say I'm a coach, I'm an author, I'm this, like that's credibility woo, goes up. You've done, okay, you're saying like, hey, here's a problem, and oh, by the way, I'm a coach on this problem, I'm an author on, like you're talking, so okay, I want to listen. What is it that you have to say? I think that's a great part. To me, the one thing that I would add, if I am Jamie, and knowing how awesome Jamie is, and how if Jamie drops into her heart and speaks from a place of vulnerability, she can then transform people's life. Is when you give the part of examples, work from home, do this, whatever. I want to hear your story. I want you in that moment to say, for me, when I neglected my self care and I put my children first, this is what happened. When I did, and that would just immediately grab my attention and talk to my heart. And I'm like, okay, I want to listen now what you got to say. Because now you're dropping into this. So that's the only one thing that I would say to make it just a little bit better. But it's good as it is.
Thank you.
Wow, so good. You see the power of the collective, right? To see your talk through so many brains who also got some ideas for their own, by the way, by listening to all of this. You can literally watch Jamie's and think, okay, how can I duplicate this? Right? We saw that there's no one formula for a perfect hook. There's elements of a perfect hook. But now looking through the lens of someone else's content, you're like, oh, wait, did I do that? How can I incorporate this? That's the beauty. That's the beauty. And if I would add something, Jamie, I think that when you did it the second time, like immediately, you started in a more joyful mood, like, okay, you started like even sitting like a little bit like this, well, welcome, da, 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 da. And from that energy, you just nailed it. You started with that flow and you ride that flow. So I think that I mean, I agree with everything that I said. That coming from that space, you're just on point. The way you interact, the way you draw people in, it's absolutely incredible. The one thing is a suggestion. This is one that I would love for everybody to write down, and it's based on what's already been said, how you can introduce yourself, right? So I'm Jamie, and I'm a coach, and I'm an author, and today I'm here to share this. What if you can share something along the lines of, I am Jamie, and today I'm standing here in front of you because I'm truly on a mission to help people actually take care of themselves first, so we can all take care of the earth or of our loved ones, of our audience, something like this. And normally I share my content in a book that's right in front of you. I know you who already read it. Oh, amazing. Or as a coach, but today I do that as a speaker. So in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to bring you along the 3 teaching points that will get you from being overwhelmed to actually thrive. Is it okay if we're going to spend the next time, the next 60 minutes to go through all of that? Amazing. Let's go. So now you're bringing people on the mission, so you're throwing the stone so you can share with people where you're going, so they can relate with, they're buying not into you as an author. They're buying into you as a vision, but now you're already prompting that you're an author, but you're also already prompting you're a coach. So when later on you're saying like, who would love to go next? You already planted the seed from literally minute 2. So now we're starting to build the ladder. Now we're starting to nudge. Now we're starting to plant the seeds. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Super. All right. So what we are going to do now is your shoulder buddies. You're gonna think through the lens, okay, what are ideas of stories? There were already some suggestions, Jamie, and I think that, by the way, and this is for everybody, when you're thinking about your stories and you feel stuck, if you would talk to me, what would be, like, maybe I'm on your right shoulder too, you know? What would I say to you what to do if you're feeling stuck, not knowing what stories to pick for your keynote? Let's just brainstorm all together. What would Lori say? You can just unmute yourself. We're a smaller group. Richie.
I think the first question that I would ask myself is, what's the aim, right? What am I trying to give to this audience? So what's the aim? And then from there, I would begin to then say, okay, well, which stories fit and complement with that aim? So like for Jamie, right, it's self-care, right? She's trying to teach these people about self-care and not neglecting themselves, right? Because everybody naturally is a giver, mothers, wives, what do you give, right? And you give to your children, you give to your spouse, you give, but what about you? So then it's like, well, what stories in my life have I showed up like that? How have I given, and have neglected me? Because that would be my first point, would be that's how I'm hooking everybody's attention. And then from there,
Very,
bring
very good.
themes.
So we're like the left and the right shoulder. I'm asking all of you right now. What if though, because this is theoretically brilliant, you get an A for your test, but then Danny Danger, Lazy Larry, and Consistent Chris got in the game. And they're like, no, you don't know. You don't have any story. You're stuck. What would you then say for Lori? Or you come from the place of, okay, how are we going to solve this in the most easy, fun, and impactful way? Jessica, do you have any ideas?
I feel like it's just kind of like taking a breath, like just doing some self-reflection of you've been practicing, if you've been doing the work, you got this. And even though like if something isn't perfect, you misalign anything, as long as you just go on and go through the process, like it'll work out. If you're really in your heart, you're gonna be able to relate the story. As long as you know what your focus is and the outcome, I think it just takes doing it, putting in the action and doing the work and trusting that it was the best. It was great. And there's always going to be room for improvement for the next one and the next one. I feel like, just as an example, when Jamie did it the first time to the second time, how much of a difference. So think about that when you're speaking. The first one is going to feel awful. The next one is going to feel better. And the next one's going to be, all right, that's even better and better and better. And I just think it comes within time and getting excited about, the whole process. Just even committing and doing it is such a huge win.
Wow, this is so good. This is by the way, October 16th, 6A in the replays, and we are in minute 50. If you're ever doubting yourself, if you want to share a reel on social media, then listen to yourself, because you're pretty damn profound. That was good advice. So this was incredible. And Nils, I'm really curious. Because I listen to all this advice and I think rationally it's totally true. But I can still not come up with a story. What thing would you advise me to do?
I will tell Jamie that she has so many stories. She wrote a book, and there's a lot of peaks and valleys when you write a book, and she did it. So there's definitely some energy behind. There's a story behind the moment that she made the decision to sit down and write that book. And I'm curious, about that. So there's a story there. She does have stories, particularly the
Wow.
one for writing the book.
So why, if she's invited because she wrote the book, and then all the stories go about what self-neglect she did while she was writing the book. So there's a through line in the whole entire thing. That's an interesting perspective. I did not even come up with that. That's incredible, Nielsen. And what if, now we're brainstorming all together, what if there's actually stories in the book? So you're saying, hey, this is actually the story in page chapter 7. Who already went till chapter? Oh, you're gonna listen to this and you're gonna hear it in different light now because I'm sharing it from the heart. So now you're actually not coming up with new content, you're just repurposing while reselling the formula that you already created. Because it's based on the through line, which is based on your coaching, which is based on the book. Interesting perspectives. What I would love to do for all of you, because who sometimes feels a little stuck what story to pick. Maybe you don't feel like I don't have the story. Maybe you're on the complete other spectrum. I have so many. Which one do I pick? If you're not raising your hand, it's gravity that's causing that, because I mean I have to hold 3 hands in the air right now. You know, sometimes you don't know what story it is, and sometimes there's a lot, and it's not you not being a right speaker. It's you wanting to deliver in a really well way, and Danny Danger, Lazy Larry, and Consistent Chris playing games with you. And we all have those. So it's an illusion that it never happens. It's just, what do we do with it? And I think there was a lot of great advice. And sometimes it changes our question, and sometimes it changes our focus. Because what Jessica said and what you did, Jamie, the second time, is step a little bit more into that joy. Tap a little bit more into that heart space. Tap a little bit more into the faith. Tap a little bit more into what are you going to deliver to that audience? Because Jamie, when you're focused, and everybody, when you, Richie, when Nilso, when Jessica, when Micah, when I'm focused on, I hope I don't fuck up, or I hope, and this was the biggest fear, Jamie, that the facilitator will be happy with me. Then what is your focus constantly going towards? What is Danny Danger constantly going to do? Is analyzing, oh, is the facilitator happy? Oh, they're sniffing. Oh no, what does that mean? And you're in a different part of your brain than where the memory is actually stored. And when you're focused on, oh my goodness, these are all these caretakers that don't take care of ourselves, just as I still do sometimes. So is everybody. But I'm standing right in front of here to help them for 90 minutes to just focus on themselves for a bit. That on itself is going to be an amazing transformation for them. Just the fact they are going to be present for 90 minutes, and those 90 minutes are completely focused on them. And when you come from the place, and that's the beauty of what we're all doing and what transformational speaking is really about, is those questions will come organically. Who here is someone who takes care of someone else? Wow. And now you're there with them, and you're just bringing them along the journey. And what we're doing in a couple of seconds, what I want to do is a super, super quick visualization that you can all do right before. Something that I always love to do, not only when I'm speaking, but also when I'm speaking with you. Because can you always focus on what you don't have, where you're not at, what you did not do yet, who you not are yet, compared to what? Or can we focus on all the gifts you carry within yourself, all the knowledge you already accumulated, and the care you have? Because I can tell you, care can be a differentiator in the marketplace, just that. Better said, you don't even need to have more skills than everybody else. If you just care more, they just want to work with you. Especially when you communicate it in a clear way and you're not confusing what it is that you're offering. And that's what you're all doing. So if you feel comfortable, I would love to invite you to close your eyes. If you don't, then you can look down. And then you're gonna take a really, really deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Do that another time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And one more time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. with your eyes closed, you're starting to visualize the stage that you are going to share your message. The next first stage, because you already stood on so many stages in your life. Your life is a stage. For some of you, it might be Friday. For some of you, it might be today. Next week, next month. Visualize that stage. What does it look like? What does it feel like? While you visualize that stage, you're going to visualize yourself in the backstage. Grabbing yourself, reminding yourself that you know what you're talking about. You care the most. And you're here to deliver a transformation. To bring the audience from where they are to where they want to go, to their next step. While you're remembering that, here on the other side of the room, the crowd cheering. Woohoo! So excited for the next speaker! And you feel that excitement just like organically getting to your body. You just feel that excitement. Oh my God. What if this is fun? You're here to transform other people. Wow, and feel that excitement in your whole body. And while you feel that excitement, you hear the host. And they start to introduce you. You're like, whoa, it's me. I'm so cool. When you put it in just like a minute or so, there's a lot to tell about me that's actually incredible. When they shout your name, you're walking up. Like it's your birthday. You're owning the steps and stand in the middle of the stage and see everybody looking at you. And you see that they're all excited. The joy that you feel within, that's what they feel too. And when you open your mouth, the first 1 minute, it's so clear because you practiced it over and over and over again. You let people raise their hand, they're interacting with you. After you did that first minute, you feel so present. And you feel that you belong there. You feel this is what you're meant to do. And you feel that what you say lands. You feel that in this energy, the rest of your words authentically flow as well. That the 15 minutes are finished before you even blink your eyes. You hear yourself say, if you like this, and you would love to know what's next, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a QR code for 60 seconds in a minute. You can pull up your phone, scan the QR code, and you will go to my Instagram. DM the word next, and I'll reach out to you to jump on a one-on-one call to see what that will look like. And you do that with this certainty, and you see the people in the audience grabbing their phone and actually scanning them. And with the big round of applause that follows after, you walk back to the main stage and grab your phone. And you see the people actually DM'd you next. And you remind yourself of the moment in the Public Speaking Academy. But in week 1, you started the kickoff session, sharing all your dreams, wishes, hopes. You also honestly told your fears. Stuff that you were a little uncomfortable of. You remind yourself of all the steps you took to get here in the backstage room. And you feel how proud you are of yourself. Feel it through your whole body. You just give yourself the present of this, the feeling, the thing that you're doing it for in the end. Because if I would quote Monica, nothing feels better than transforming other people. That's why you do this. That's why you're here. That's why you've done all the work. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths to anchor in this feeling. Through the nose and through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your again. Realize that for the people who have a stop, that the class is finished and that we're going to see each other tomorrow again. And then we're going to take the next step on the journey because we're going to watch Richie's talk and we're going to analyze it all together. You're here on this path. It never finished. You never feel, oh, this opening is the perfect one. I'm going to marry this forever. There will always be new insights from new people. And you're always going to improve it. There will always be new stories that you would love to add because transformational speaking is the one where you're adaptable. You're adaptable to an audience. You're adaptable to your own mood, to your own intuition. You're adaptable to recent events, to stuff that happens just now, right in front of you. And you're including them in your storyline. This is transformational speaking, and you're all transformational speakers. For the people who would love, we're going to do a small tapping exercise. And for the people who have a hard stop, make sure that you record yourself. Share a breakthrough or aha moment. Share it in the WhatsApp group. And that you're here tomorrow, the same time, the same link, with the same level of presence because you truly playful out today. Well done. But for the people who need to leave, feel free to do so. Jamie, you were incredible. We'd love to see another version, by the way, of your introduction. Feel free to share that in the WhatsApp group. The more you speak it out loud, the better it gets. And what if the next version could be without a script? Because you tap into your heart and you know what you're going to say.
I'm going to work on it. I have to work on it. It has to be done.
You got it, girl.
All right. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Monica, the floor is yours.
Big shitty gift. Yay! Being stuck is one of the best shitty gifts we can get. You guys remember shitty gift? I don't know if you remember seeing this, but I'm so excited whenever I see the word stuck because this is what we get to undo. When you realize, we're just going to go ahead and start tapping. When you realize that there is, as Lori said, the Danny Danger, the consistent Chris, the lazy Larry, that's part of when you get, I'm stuck, is it's actually one of the biggest opportunities to go, why in the world would I be stuck? I'm not stuck. I got tons of stories. I got tons of client examples. I got tons of background. I got tons of experience. I actually have met so many stories. But why am I stuck? Well, let me pay attention for a moment. What's it remind me of? How far back does this go? When's the first time I felt stuck like this? And can I use this reenactment of this experience, of this sensation that I somehow feel my brain is empty? I think some of the words that Jamie used was, I'm gonna shit my pants. I do believe that was one of the things that she said. And what if it's possible that those sensations are part of the identity upgrade of being a transformational speaker? Because as you go through your process of writing your stories, of choosing your stories, of knowing where to put your stories into your content to match your points, and then tapping on these points here to match your credibility, your coolness, your community. What if it's possible that all the noise that you hear in your head that is a part of being stuck, this is the actual big shitty gift? And as you heal yourself with these blocks, then you keep moving your comfort zone and moving your comfort zone cone, and your comfort zone cone keeps moving and moving and moving until you realize, I never get stuck. And if I do, I go, it's a big shitty gift, because now I have another place to go. I got stuck here. And what if it's possible that every time this belief shows up that I'm stuck, it's an opportunity to go, you know what? I'm a transformational speaker. I'm going to transform myself right now. Because when I transform my field and myself, I transform it for my audience as well. The gift that I get to give myself of being a transformational speaker is that I actually get to clear all my own stuff and clear all my own blocks, because this is what my audience has now. I have now created a formula, I call it, that I put in the field of clearing these fears. And I've walked it out first, and now they get to walk it out behind me. It's in my field, and they get to come into my field, and like that, they get to pick up that I've done this work, that I've done this formula, that I figured out how to get unstuck. Oh, and they can too, so much faster, because I did it first. And then tapping on that big heart, we're here as transformational speakers. We are here upgrading our identity. And as we get the big shitty gifts, like feeling like we're stuck, like we don't know where to go, like we don't know which story to choose, you get to hear who's going to care about my story. I do have examples that actually really matter. Like just hear the sounds that show up in your head, feel the emotions and sensations that show up in your body as you're ready to share from your heart what your stories are, what your examples are, what your teaching points are. And when you know that you're coming from your big, big heart, big open heart out to them, then tapping on your crown while you tap on your heart is that the path and purpose that you came here for on this planet of working through what it feels to be stuck. How many of your clients, how many of your audience members, how many of the people who read your books or take your coaching get stuck? It's like you worked through it. You've actually done the work to go, how did I get unstuck? And now I'm here to speak from that space. Now I'm here to share the stories of either my own transformation or those of my clients or those of my audience. I have so many stories. There's no place I could ever get stuck finding the right story for the right moment and where I'm going to insert those throughout my speech. And then tapping on your fingertips, knowing that this opportunity to be able to upgrade your own identity as a transformational speaker. Why are you that? Because you've been transformed, because you've done the work, because of who you had to become to write these stories, to write these speeches, to practice these introductions, to go over and over again, hear all the sounds about all the anxieties and what will the speaker presenters think, or what will the audience think? Oh my gosh, I get to go through all of this and transform myself so that who I'm here to be for my audience, they get to do the change so much faster because I was the one who walked it out first. And having the gratitude to be the speaker on that stage who was able to share what I went through so that their path can be a little bit faster and a little bit easier. And then thank you. And back to you, Lori.
Yes, this is what this is about. Compounding every single time. Tomorrow we're going to see each other again. So I would love to invite you now to just create that video. What was your biggest aha moment? What was your biggest breakthrough? Maybe you can even include some of the stuff that you learned today about how to open and create it into a teaching moment at the same time. And then tomorrow we're going to see each other right here in this Zoom. And we're going to analyze a full talk, which is going to be fantastic. or at least pop. I don't know if we have time for the whole entire thing, but we will like dissect the theory, and you're going to learn from that for next week and then for next week. So see you all tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.
Mhm.
Love you all.